welcome back to my channel. And I just want to say I hope you're having a good day, and if you're not, I pray that divine energy gives you that strength to endure. And I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to be here with us and to watch these clips. I appreciate it. Thank you for spending your time with me. So we're just going to go ahead and read our creed, Beatitudes for the Weird. Blessed are ye who see beauty in ugliness, for you shall transform our vision of how the world might be. Blessed are the bold and whimsical, for their imagination shatters ancient boundaries of fear for us all. Blessed are ye who are mocked for unbridled expression of love in all its forms, because your kind of crazy is exactly that freedom for which the world is unconsciously begging. This week we are going to, last episode, I think every time I come on, I'm going to have a segment that says, last episode, I forgot to mention. Because every time you finish and you watch back the clip, you'll say, oh, I forgot to say this, or oh, I forgot to say that. And as you can see, this is very unedited. This is just come as you are, you get it as you see it kind of video blog / whatever you want to call it. So we just come on and we talk. It is unedited, it is raw, it is just me, you having a conversation, sharing our thoughts, and it is all about, it's just following the concept of get your feet wet. You start where you are with what you have, use what you have, and go ahead. Over time, everything will fall into place and get better. So we just come on here and we share our thoughts, and that is it. You don't need a million and one things to get started. Just get started. So we forgot to mention foods that cause the body to produce thyroid hormones. You want to avoid those, which is iodine-rich foods. And a number of those are seaweed, kelp, table salt. If you notice, table salt always have added iodine in it, egg yolk, and molasses. And we also want to avoid things that stimulate the nervous system, like coffee and chocolate. We know a lot of people love chocolate, and some people can't go without coffee, but you want to avoid those things when you have thyroid issues, hyperthyroid issues, I should say. So of course we're going to talk about death this week, and I'm going to read a quote from my book that I started off with. This is the book. So as well, Thoughts of an INFP. You can get in touch with me if you don't have an Amazon account or can't be bothered with ordering on Amazon. You can get in touch with me, and I will leave my information in the description box, so you can contact me there, and we will sort that out. Good. It said, "Death is the wish of some, the relief of many, and the end of all." No. It's not everybody sees death in a negative light. We must know this, and we must know people like this, because there are people who are living in what I call physical agony. Some are in emotional agony, and some are in mental agony. And for them, life is like a daily torture. Life is like a daily torture for people like that. And death is more alluring to them. It's like a relief. As I said, as the opening quote said, it's like a relief. Not everybody sees death negatively. And I know a lot of people say, so in terms of they call it assisted suicide, euthanasia, whatever they want to call it. You have people like that who wish to die, who are in, have terminal illness. It's not getting better. There's no, every day they're in pain. You have people who say, a lot of people say it's very selfish for people to want to, die with dignity. I call it dying with dignity. It's very selfish for people who want to leave their families and everything. But in my view, it is very, very selfish to have somebody, I don't know if you've never witnessed it, or probably people who, go for the argument that no matter what is happening in life, you should not ever, wish to die. You shouldn't do it because you have a family and people who left behind. The argument that they always use is people who are left behind will be so hurt, they will be torn, they will be this. But isn't it very, very selfish to ask somebody who's in agony? If you ever seen somebody in physical agony, right? So in my view, that's the most selfish thing, to ask somebody who is in agony to stick around because I don't want to feel bad that you have passed on. I am going to feel sad. I am going to suffer emotionally while they're there suffering emotionally. And that's why I'll always be an advocate for euthanasia. And I don't know if you know about Dr. Kevorkian. They call him Dr. Death. This doctor who assists patients who want to go peacefully. You can look him up, read about him, watch his stuff. And I've always thought that's a very, very compassionate thing to do. That is very, very compassionate. You are there and everybody is, if and you agree, first of all, you're not just gonna go ahead and, encourage people to do that. These are people who have gone through and still experiencing all types of pain every day, agony. And they're in their right mind and they've thought about it and they want to do it. It's their wish, not you telling them or encouraging them. You're going to do everything. That is the thing about love as well. You encourage and support whatever it is that somebody wants to do. You're going to tell them your views, if you agree or not. But if they want to do this, and in this case, something like this, it's not for the faint of heart, I must say, because it's not an easy thing. It's not easy, not at all, But if you've seen them or if you're witnessing them going through pain, agony, torture every day, and they've decided that they want to go this route, I respect Dr. Kevorkian and I like the way he was going about it. He tried to make it as comfortable as possible. He tried to make the setting, your loved ones around you. I mean, it would be nice if everybody could die, like you see in some movies. Your family, everybody, your loved one is sitting around you, and you're in the bed, and you get to finish up all your task and everything is just flowing smoothly. Everybody wants to die like that, but not everybody get the chance to do that. So yeah. But I don't want to forget what all the points I want to make. Right. I definitely support people. You should be able to say, I want to die with dignity on my own terms. People should be able to say that. One of my favorite books of all times, called A Brave New World, there is a practice in it where from the babies are born, they call it what? Death conditioning. They bring the babies, and that book is so wonderful, and I'd recommend anybody to get it. It's very good. It's one of my favorite of all times. Brave New World. In it, they have a practice that they call it death conditioning. From a baby, they bring you into the hospital for the dying, and they associate all types of positive things with death because they see it as a natural part of the life cycle. It's the end, the last stage of the life cycle. So they bring the babies in. They put the best toys are in that hospital. They give them chocolate. They give them everything beautiful, everything that's positive associated with that. So, so they've been conditioned from a young age to not view death in a negative way. I mean, there's a lot of controversy in that book, but I love that book. I love the concepts in that book and everything. Also, I must say, for me, I have a lot. I mean, I've probably planned my funeral like 100 times already, and I live my life in that way. I'm one of those persons who live my life. I literally live my life as if I'm going to die the next day. That is how I live my life, and I don't see any other thing that can be as motivating as that for me. Like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it because in my mind, I'm like, hey, I might not, live to see this, or might I not live to see that. I have made sit down and say, okay, this is what I want to do when I die. This is what I want to happen. My close friends know this. I've told them, like, a million times. And what I would normally do is, for my passwords for stuff, important information and stuff like that, there are a few people who I give those things to, just in case. I'll call it just in case. They're used to me by now. And every time I update something, I say, hey, this is updated. You have access to this. You have access to that. Just in case anything, and people need to. I need to get things done, and certain information. If you need it, this is where you get it, and this is how you get into my stuff. I have very close friends that I do that with, and they know this. No, there is this beautiful, beautiful lecture by a professor of philosophy called Dr. Kagan. I would recommend. I I would recommend everybody to give that video a watch. It's a lecture. He did. It's on YouTube. It's a lecture he does on death. It is, to me, one of the most beautiful lectures. It is one of my favorite lectures of all times, hands down. I love watching that lecture. It has about it's kind of long, so you watch it in episodes. It's like 26 videos. Um, he goes through, every time I'm watching it. The first time I was enjoying, my friend, sent the clip to me. A friend sent the clip to me, and I was like, I was blown away. I was like, so it was one of those moments that you said, "Oh my goodness, yes, this is what I'm talking about. These are my thoughts. These are my views that he's talking about. The points he brings up, the points he have you think about. It's just a lovely, lovely, lovely lecture. Dr. Kagan, a lecture on death. I'd recommend you to watch that. So if I tell my loved ones and my parents, my mom hates when I talk about this, but I have said that if I reach a stage in life, God forbid, and something terrible happens, and if I'm active and can do certain things, fine, as long as it's my desire as well. If I feel different, if I feel different, if I'm very ill, and with a terminal illness and whatever, and I'm in pain every day, but I can manage it, that's fine. But I'm talking about pain that is intolerable. That is just, you just, it's no quality of life. The quality of life is just not, you just existing like you're just there. That would just be existing, nothing. And these things will take a lot of money a lot of money and time and emotional strength to deal with stuff like that. If every day, they would have to be taking care of me in such a way that, and it, hinders their life in any way, like a lot. They'd have to basically rearrange your whole life and stuff like that. I would want them to respect my decision to be euthanized. And I don't think, and first of all, you have to get this. Not a lot of people do this. Not a lot of doctors do this, anyways. And first of all, it's illegal. I think it's illegal, except in a few states in the U.S. It is not something that's practiced, but you could go at the. I remember a patient as well for Dr. Kavarkian. She, for in the episode in a video clip, they were talking about this lady had her husband. He wanted to be euthanized, and they said no, they're not going to do it. The doctor said no. If you want to, the only way you can do that is if you stop eating, stop taking the medication, just stop doing everything. And he was like, I don't want to starve myself to death. He want to be in a pleasant surrounding, something nice. You set up your thing, to just go in a very pleasant way. The man don't want to be, starve yourself to death in that horrible way. Stop taking the medication to have all kind of pains. That's a horrible death. So, that was one of the things that people used to advocate for. No, for euthanasia. Yeah, because that's like a terrible way to go. And that is what Dr. Kavarkian was trying to do, assist patients to die with dignity. That's the whole main part of it. To die with dignity. And that is why I support, that view and that aspect. But if somebody wants to live to fight to the end, you have people who want to kick, scream, go through the pain, everything until the end. You support that. We support that 100% because it's just a very complex thing, life and death, you know. And I don't know. You either you're either for it or against it or probably in the middle because you don't know. But the thing is, people should not view death as something negative. I mean, good people die, and we've seen this all over. Even though we know this, we've seen it 100 times. Babies die, little kids die. They haven't done anything, but because we have associated death as a sin in I mean it's I don't want to say Christian only, but most humans just associate death with something bad, that you've done something bad to deserve this. Even illness, people associate it, oh, God must be doing this to them, or it's not right. These things happen to everybody. We don't know how our lives have been you know charted out. There's a saying that I usually follow, that the script has been already written. Everybody's script is written already. We're just playing the part and going through. So you might come up to us, say you made a decision to do XYZ. It was already written. It's like a movie. The characters, the what the characters will be doing is already written, planned out, and everything in the script. So whatever decision they think they've made, that has all been taken into consideration with the makeup, the whatever happens to them in life, their life experiences, their views on life, and everything. It's already written. The script is already written. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read from my book the what I wrote about death. So I will do this as a treat. So it is natural to feel fear and loss when we consider mortality. That's because we have formed connections and bonds with things, places, people that we love, and people we don't even like, but still have a certain sense of familiarity with that we will miss. It is simply natural and instinctive to mourn death. One of the biggest grouses we have with death is that it is the most inconvenient intruder. It interrupts our 5-year plans, our holiday trips, our big promotions, our graduations, and upcoming milestones and achievements. And it especially disrupts our busiest work schedules. The timing is always bad. Even when we have retired and are in a nursing home or hospice, we still consider it to be too soon. Basically, no one wants to make time or space for death. Sometimes, however, some people receive a pre-notice of its arrival by way of terminal illnesses. In these cases, they at least get a chance to gradually come to terms, make arrangements, process the experience, and put their affairs in order. Regarding euthanasia, I am a big supporter. An individual of sound mind should be permitted to decide whether or not to prolong their life, especially in cases where euthanasia would be putting an end to their suffering. It gives them an opportunity to die with dignity. Something has to kill us, and as the members of the night, it gives them an opportunity to die with an end to their suffering. So, sorry, I'm mixing these things up. It gives them an opportunity to die with dignity. Something has to kill us. And as the members of the 90s underground grunge band Bruises would say, choose your poisons to suit your needs. A line from their song Yellow Cake. The awareness of death changes people's attitudes and outlook on life. When accepted as a natural part of the life cycle, death reminds us that we should try to spend our free time doing, saying, or creating moments that will leave the kind of impression we would like to be remembered by. And it ends with a quote by Marcus called, "The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living." So when we die, it's not mostly, when we die, that's it. I call it, people ask, what happens when you die? I call it going back to the void. The void from which we came from, that's a whole other topic. We'll talk about death and the afterlife and the soul. Dr. Kagan covers all of that in his lecture. What it means to die physically, not just in a, what does it really mean to die? What happens after we die? All of that. Oh, please watch that lecture. It's beautiful. It's, if you're interested in, stuff like that. Because when we die, that's it. Everything else is left up to people who are alive, who mourn us, who miss us, everything. We are gone from their memory. We are gone from, this physical world. It's not up to us. We are not the ones suffering anymore. And that is why, we always say, rest in peace, sleep in peace. So, and why would we not want somebody to rest or sleep in peace if they've been suffering? There's a reason why we come up with that saying, rest in peace and sleep in peace. Because that's it for them. No more worries about what's happening in the world, no more worldly issues, nothing at all of concern. It's now up to those who are alive to carry on, and we can carry on people's memory. They're left with us, so it's up to us now to keep their memory alive, keep everything they've done, you know, alive, and they live on in us. They live on through us, and yeah. So that's what I want to say about that and about death. And don't forget, we exist to bear witness of each other's presence. And we do that every time we share our tea, which is our time, our energy, and our attention. That is how we bear existence to each other's presence. And I also would like to say that whatever set of beliefs that bring you the most peace, use that. Use them all the time. Whatever beliefs and practices bring you the most peace, you use that. Why would you want to do or use something that brings you agony or, all sort of unnecessary drama or anything like that? Use the set of beliefs that bring you the most peace. And with that, I would like you to don't forget to like, subscribe, sharing is optional, and watch our last video and look out for our next video. And please take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. See you next time.